Hey there, my friend. So glad that you're with me here on 5 Minute Mentoring. We're taking the whole month this month to celebrate the 10-year re-release of my book, Unlocking the Heart of the Artist, that's gone all over the world and just helped thousands and thousands of artists step into their calling as artists in God's kingdom. And I'm pulling out excerpts every week to really just celebrate some of the key core messages that the Lord has used to speak all over the world to encourage artists. And one of those parts of the message of Unlocking the Heart of the Artist is something I call community. You know, the Lord showed me early on in my own healing journey and my own journey into being a thriving artist that I was never designed to do this alone. I was never designed to walk through difficulty alone. I wasn't designed to walk through healing alone. I wasn't designed to do my calling as an artist alone, that we were called as artists in community to link arms, to stand together, to support each other, for iron to sharpen iron, for us to encourage each other along the way. And that's a big, big part of what I wrote about in some of the final chapters of Unlocking the Heart of the Artist. I wanted to read from this chapter called Embrace Community and today, and just give you an excerpt of my heart from the book. It says this, quote, "When the Lord told me to raise up an army of artists to reveal his glory in the earth, he made it very clear that I was to equip the warriors and the weaklings, the master artists and the emerging artists together," right out of Joel 3, 9 through 12. This is called spiritual fathering. We see this with Paul and Timothy, with Jesus and the disciples, Bezalel and Oholiab, Asaph and the sons of Asaph, and with Samuel and the school of the prophets at Naoth Ramah. It's God's design. God even mandates in Malachi 4:6, we turn our hearts toward the spiritual children, and I would say emerging artists, in order to fully realize the blessing of God in our midst. As we pour ourselves out in service to the next generation, we will see them fulfill their purpose. Spiritual fathering and mothering springs forth out of a love for God, for the kingdom, and for those whom God has called us, to whom God has called us. As we pursue community, we must know clearly what we're about and where we're going. Dave Marquis, in his foundational book, The Lost Glory, said, quote, "In days ahead, God will call men and women to form whole communities of artists and musicians to pioneer a new Levitical order. They will pursue not only artistic excellence and pioneer new things in creativity, but also spur one another on to reach new heights in creative thought and discipline, the kind of coloring outside the lines so loved by God. They will love God with their whole hearts and pursue his presence with all their might, being fully committed to wholeness and the true freedom that comes from the Spirit of God. As God raises up new communities and artists, these groups will be like wells of blessing in the earth. The ones who will last will be wise enough to center themselves around ministries that can properly care for them and support them in their quest," unquote. What a vision to encourage, love, spur on, collaborate, support, and heal. You and I are called to be, quote, wells of blessing in the earth. Unless we know and can articulate the vision of our community, it just becomes another meeting to attend. The kingdom journey is meant to be the way we choose to live our lives. It's an adventure flowing with the Spirit of God. You know, as I reflect on just everything the Lord's done in terms of community over the last 12 years or so, since the Lord released the vision to me of raising up this army of artists, there's no way that I could be doing what I'm doing without men like Dave Marquis, without my dear friend and spiritual father, Ray Hughes, men like Don Potter, other artists I just think of along the way who have spoken into my life and so encouraged me in the things of the Lord and in my creativity. It's because of spiritual fathers and mothers in my life. Vivian Hibbert, I think just so many have come to mind. I'm going to forget so many, but I just think there's no way that I'd be doing what I'm doing without standing on their shoulders and without their investment in my life. And friend, I would just say that to you as well, that there are people right now in the kingdom of God who God has got positioned for greatness, who will never be able to stand in that place as fully as they would be without your investment. Sure, God could bring other people at other times, but He's designed you to speak into their life, to stand alongside them, to encourage them, sometimes just for a season, other times for a lifetime. And I just want to encourage you, if you've been a lone ranger, if you've been somebody that's tried to pursue this thing as an artist on your own, it's time. It's time to connect. It's time to step into community. And that's what this call of Unlocking the Heart of the Artist and Created to Thrive and the Thriving Christian Artist podcast and our conferences, everything we do, that's what it's about, is our desire to connect with you and link arms with you so that you can be everything that God's called you to be in the kingdom. Hey, I love you, my friend. Thanks for being with me. I'm praying for you, believing God's best for your life. And remember, until next time, you were created to thrive. Bye.